Check in with eNCA's Heidi Giokos, who is in the area of Honeydew. I believe that's where you are, Heidi. So where Slindelo is at the coalface of the work being done. You are at the coalface of how that work is impacting residents in Joburg. What can you tell us from the reservoir where you are? Are we seeing any impact in terms of the reduced pressure as well as the reduced supply that had been announced by Rand Water and Joburg Water?
Yes, Tulis, we've been out since very early this morning trying to gauge what the situation is like on the ground, given the fact that we do know that Rand Water has made an announcement that there are going to be water disruptions for 54 hours. We've spoken to a couple of people in the area who've said for now there is no massive impact. We were at Rand Ridge Primary School earlier on that said that they are monitoring the situation, but should it get worse, they will have to speak to the district manager to possibly shut down the school, as water is extremely imperative in making sure that hygiene is kept, and also because we mustn't forget we are still in the middle of a COVID-19 pandemic and we need to constantly be practicing hygiene. But we are joined by Devin Steenkamp, who's the elect ward councillor for Ward 34. Thanks so much for your time, Devin. I think let's start off with how severe the impact is in this area, given Rand Water has announced there's going to be a water supply issue for the next 54 hours.
Yes, hi, thank you, Heidi. Yes, Rand Water said they have to do maintenance to a raw water pipe that gets it from the Bowl Dam. So they said that they will reduce the water supply, which is the pressure, by 25%. So although there should be still water at the taps, if everyone is using the water sparingly, there shouldn't be any water outages. However, if there are high-level areas of residents staying, they might be affected first. And should they be affected, they should report it to Joburg Water.
Yes, but we do also know that this area is very well known for water cuts and not planned water cuts, where residents are not told on time that, in fact, the water will be out because there needs to be maintenance. Are you finding that there have been contingency plans put in place, such as water tankers? We know Rand Water said that people should not stock up water and not store water because it won't be a severe water disruption. But what are you assessing on the ground? What can you tell us?
Yes, so there has been numerous water outages, particularly in Rand Park, Ridge, Bromhof and Boskrane, and that's due to AC water pipes being burst, and that requires a long-term plan of upgrading those pipes, which we will be having discussions with Joburg Water on budgets and stuff going forward, even with council, to get those plans. But unfortunately, that is a long-term solution. So at the moment, we just have to, when there's a burst pipe, report it immediately, and there will be quick fixes now, but at the long term, those pipes need upgrading.
And then just lastly, given the track record, it's unfortunate we have to say so, but the track record of not having water consistently in this area, do you think that water will be restored to full capacity after 54 hours?
It should be. If there's not, then I'll be in communication with Joburg Water to assess what's the challenges are and find out what the requirements are to get going forward. But yeah, 54 hours, as long as everyone's using water sparingly. There's also Johannesburg's level 1 water restrictions in place, so people shouldn't water their gardens between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. And also they're not allowed to hose pipe their driveways or pavements.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Devin. That's Devin Steenkamp, who's the elect ward councillor for Ward 34 here in the Randburg area. And I think it's imperative to highlight the fact, Tulas, that there's no complete shut-off of water here in this area. It's just reduced capacity, low pressure, but of course this needs to be monitored very closely to make sure that there isn't any issue where people don't have water at all. I must say this morning when I left home quite early, I still had water, and I believe there is still water in the area, but of course it's not at full capacity and quite low pressure, and hopefully that will be restored after 54 hours when the maintenance is done.
All right, Heidi Giokos out in Honeydew tracking that situation and checking how it's impacting ordinary residents in areas of Gauteng. In fact, we focus a lot on Johannesburg, but from what I'm reading, this operation affects at least 8 municipalities around Gauteng. So that is quite interesting. So let's